Good morning, everybody. It is October 12th, 8:25 a.m. Um, we got that news, that PPI coming up, 8:30 a.m., right? That's why you're here. That's why you're here. So, now we're going to look into the SPY chart. Actually, not the SPY chart. We're going to look at what is the market doing right now, right? So, we have I'm just going to go over the key things. Nasdaq is up 1.10%. Pretty interesting since this news is coming out. Maybe the market knows something we don't, right? Bitcoin's up 1%. Russell's up 0.91. The ES, which is the S&P 500, is up 0.87. The Dow is up 0.7. Crude is up 0.35. Dollar is up slightly. T TNX is down zero point 0.2. Gold is down and the VIX is down. Still high though, 33. Silver's down. All right, let's see some quick stocks. Just gonna mention a couple of the leaders. Snow is up 1.35. Amazon, Nvidia, those are the leaders. AMD, not as strong. Google, Tesla, Microsoft, Boeing. Let's move over to the top sector stocks. Let's see, Roblox, Qualcomm. Qualcomm, I just saw they got their target raised. Roblox, Salesforce, the laggard, which just means they're not as strong. AbbVie, United Healthcare, UPS, J&J, and then let's go down into sectors. These are changing as we speak. Strongest is energy, semiconductors, and technology, followed by discretionary. Laggards, real estate, that's defensive. Healthcare defensive, utilities defensive. So right now, market's a little hotter, right? We're awaiting this news. That doesn't really mean much, really, be honest with you. Doesn't really mean much. Let's go over to the futures chart so we can see this price action. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring you over to the candlestick chart, the 60-minute chart. It's probably easier to see it. Give me one sec while I pull that up. So we can watch these. So we're going to wait for this news to come out really quickly. Let's go over what we're looking at here. I'll go back to that. We got 1 minute, so PPI month over month expected is 0.2, core PPI 0.3. The last reading was negative 0.1, so 0.2 and 0.3 is what we're looking at. So let's see. Let's go back to those futures charts and we'll see what the breaking news is. Now you can see there's been resistance right here, which probably will be broken if it goes higher. And right here, we got support at 35.98. So let's just see. All right. Let's see what we got here. Oh, hotter than expected in the month over month, zero point 0.4, expected zero point 0.2. This is negative. This is negative for the market. Hence why you're seeing a red candle. So the core PPI was zero point 0.3 as expected. The month over month number was hotter. So very interesting. You're seeing that red candle. We'll see, because core PPI 0.3 is expected right on the money. PPI month over month though was hotter by 0.2%. So we're going to see how the market wants to deal with this. We also have FOMC minutes today. We have FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. Another market mover. Okay. Not sure how the market's going to handle this. It's not good overall, just because, okay, we came in as expected month over month, but for the core, but for the core PPI month over month, we came in as expected. But for the PPI month over month, not core, was hotter. So that's just not good. So let's go back to this. It's not as violent right now. The bigger number will come tomorrow, the CPI, Consumer Price Index. So that is the number that really the market's going to wait for. But this could be a little jump start to go a little lower. Now we also have FOMC minutes too today. So it's a lot of news today. A lot of news today. So far, very not as violent, not as volatile as tomorrow probably will be with the CPI. Usually the CPI comes out first, but this time the PPI came out first. So not as crazy. We're still within range. You can see this has been our playground really, from here to here. And we've been just chopping. Okay. So this is negative news. How the market will deal with it, I don't know. Let's take a look. I'll zoom in on these profile charts here. And we can see, I could even split this out to show you guys, because it's not that violent right now. These are 30-minute bars. Remember, TPOs are 30-minute bars. Now you can see that we're, obviously we got a red candle. This is the most traded price from yesterday, right here. It's called 3,600. We closed here. Okay. So remember, longs are in here. And if we cross here, this should make us go right back to here, to the lows. So not as crazy, right? Go back to the As you can see, the candlestick is getting a little more red there, a little more bearish. You can see here now we'll say that ES is only up 0.13. The Nasdaq's only up 0.15, so it's come down a lot. I don't know how far we'll go from this today, because obviously we still have the huge FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. and tomorrow we have CPI at 8:30 a.m. But this is starting to work its way down. Okay. You can see what I pointed out here. This level here, 35.98 is support, and this is the most traded price. So if we break that, we should probably go to 35.80, which is the overnight. I'm sorry, yesterday's low. Bring it back over to the candlestick. Show you the same levels. Here's that support, 35.98. Let me get rid of that, because this is actually here now. So see, we're getting some profit taking here, some buyers stepping in. So it's a bit of a muted, which I expected for PPI. I mean, it is negative for the market, so we'll have to see how the market handles it. You can look at the Nasdaq to see, just to show you guys what the Nasdaq's doing. Actually, you can draw resistance here. I didn't draw that earlier because I thought that would have get blown out. Now this move is muted. It's not the big one. Like I said, the CPI is the big one. So this is the Nasdaq. Obviously key support here, 108.41. Key resistance here, 109.66. It's been the range right now, right here. This little range. So we're going to break it. Just don't know when. Let's go move back over to the ES, S&P. Alright, so fairly kind of muted move. Now let's look at what I was looking at in almost every major stock, that it has a beta close to the SPY, which just means it correlates to the SPY's movement. The S&P can see these head and shoulders here, shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline. You can call that the neckline, or this the neckline. You look at a lot of the major stocks, it has the same pattern. So 35.98, then 35.80 support. Okay. Guys can see the market profile just to show you a different view of the market. So muted, right? We're staying within range. All right, with that, Let's just look at what the SPY did yesterday. I'm watching this, so I don't really see craziness coming right now. So let's look at what the market did. So yesterday made new lows, right? Made new lows and then popped up. And here you can see, obviously this is a SPY, but the same thing. You got your shoulder, head, shoulder, and neckline, right? So it's probably, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna make something out of this today. Let's look at the Qs. Qs weaker. Look at that low, lower low, lower low, lower highs. Made a new low yesterday. Okay. Alright, market's starting to get a little weaker again. Still hasn't broke that level though. This really hasn't broke that level yet. Let's look at the VIX. Alright, the VIX is going higher now. Now just to let everybody know, when you have a 32 VIX and over, that means that we're going to have a 2% move is implied in the market. 2% move. You divide by 2. 16 VIX is a 1%. 32 VIX and above, well, obviously above is going to be higher, but 32 VIX means 2% move expected in the market. Let's look at the TNX. Nope. Let's look at that TNX 10-year yield. This is the smart money, right? So we're trending up again. We broke down. Now we're trending up. Okay, we're trending up. So this is the smart money. So this is a leading indicator, okay? This doesn't look too great for equities. That can all change, but it doesn't look too good. TNX is at 3.96. It is up 0.63%. Okay. Now market's bouncing a little bit. We're almost a little bit of a doji candle right now. We're right in the middle. Right in the middle of that range. Right in the middle. It's not doing much though. Okay, so TNX we know is not good. Let's see the dollar. Dollar's trending up too. Okay, which is not good for equities. It's a little benign today. It's kind of in a range. It's going higher, which is not good. Alright, since that's in the middle, why don't we go over to market profile and we can look at what happened yesterday, and we'll be able to see the market still of what it's doing. Alright, so since we're right in the middle of our range, this is us right now. This is the overnight range. We're right at the middle. See that says mid? Literally right at the middle of the range. So it's very indecisive. That news isn't really doing. That news really isn't doing much to move the market right now. Okay. Okay, so we have the high from yesterday, the low from yesterday. Here's our overnight session is in the middle of this, right? Here's the big session. Overnight's in the middle of the RTH session. Okay, you guys watched me before, you know that usually points to indecisiveness. Okay, that's an indecisive indicator. Look at the mid of yesterday's session and the mid of the overnight. They're exactly pretty much the same. That is balance. Okay, that's an indication of balance. All right, so not much to glean from the market right now. It's kind of just probably waiting for the FOMC minutes, which I don't know how much shock we'll get from that, but it's a market mover. CPI is the big one then. If we're not getting something, CPI is the big one, which we already knew that. We already knew that. So now, yesterday, I mentioned to you guys the big wall. And you can see price came right to here. And we fell. Now we fell because of the Bank of England news that they were saying that they're not going to ease and it's going to end Friday, and they're kind of like countering what they said, so it kind of made the market tank. That's why that move happened. However, that's why I mentioned those levels, right? The wall, and then we fell. So those levels are just really important now. And now you can see the profile here. Let's look at this profile. I'm sure you guys can notice the difference in the profile. Okay, look where value is now. It's all lower with not a lot of excess down here. That usually is going to point to lower prices. Okay, now also what happened is the most traded price, 36.50 of the month, and the most traded price of the week, 36.38 now. This, when you have the most traded price of the month and the week together like that, that is a huge wall. And that's our bull bear line now. Now with news, this could get blown through. With news, can ignore technicals. Okay? However, this is our line in the sand. So now if this hasn't done much to the market, I think it's because the core was as expected. And the PPI regular one was a little hotter, so I think the market doesn't know what to do with it, so it's having a muted reaction. Okay, which the technicals now will be relied on for the morning trade. Okay, so this is our new wall. Okay, this is the wall. Price can get above this and hold. We're probably going higher. Now we have to wait for minutes and CPI for tomorrow. But this is how the market works. If we can't get above this, we try, we're going to go back down. Now, we could go back down and hit the bottom of the bracket and bounce up, build more value out here, or it means that we're going to make new lows. A lot of news coming, so news can blast through levels, but right now I'm going to say technical trade today is going to probably be on, and then we'll wait for 2 o'clock. So ultimate balance, everybody. Most traded price and the most traded price of the week and the month are together. Ultimate balance. Okay. Let's look at the Nasdaq. Now Nasdaq hasn't pulled the most traded price of the RTH session, which is 11,600 or 1,600. It hasn't pulled it yet lower. 24 hour is still at 114. it's got a little ways to do it than the ES. Okay, but we do have the RTH and the extended now down here. So most trader price, let's see here, for the RTH session is, let's call it 110 100 or 11,000, and for the 24 hours it's at 109.60. So again, still another wall. Okay, this is still a wall that price has to get over, because if you look at the composite profile, value's all lower now. That is bearish. Okay, we need to build excess down. So I think it points to, technically now without news catalyst, it points to lower. But like I said, tomorrow if the CPI number comes in at 7.9 or something, the market's going to go higher. And so then, technicals take a back seat a little bit to that. And you can see yesterday, this purple box, which is the most traded price, it couldn't get above this, and we fell. Okay, so this is our playground right now in the Nasdaq. That's the playground right now, and we're just building out. I think we very well could stay in here today, waiting for tomorrow. An FOMC minutes later, which I don't think is going to shock anybody, but I could be wrong. Okay, let's look at that 60-minute futures. We'll go back to it. Give me one sec. Still not doing anything in the middle. Okay, still in the middle. So obviously resistance 36, 35, 50. Support 35.98. This is the immediate range we're in. Okay, one of those is going to break, or we really could just do this today. But be prepared for the breakout above and breakout below. Now, some things that happened too. The IMF came out and said that inflation will not go down until probably 2024. They also said that unemployment of 5.9, I think they said, would be benign, which means that they understand that inflation is horrendous right now and it's going to take time, and even if unemployment went up, that would be not so bad as long as inflation went down. So that's another thing. Other news front was Pepsico came out and beat earnings, which is interesting. And then Biden, just giving you guys some news fronts, Biden actually admitted that we might have a recession, but it will be slight, which, I mean, doesn't really mean much coming from the president. But that's something that he admitted, that we might have one. These are just news that is coming out. Okay, so that's not a lot of the gleam. Like, there's not much, like I said, so resistance 36.35, support 35.98. That's what I'm looking at. It's really not much to look at other than that. just remember this pattern today. I don't know what will happen, but the head and shoulders, okay? But it's so weird when you have these headline risks that we are in this market. It's just like I can't say that because like tomorrow's CPI could be horrible and we just go down, and it could be great and we just blow higher, right? All right, let's look at the Nasdaq. Same level, so not the same levels, but the same concept. 109.66 resistance, 108.41 support. Can't get any more easier than that. Obviously, the next resistance is 110.29. That's what I'm looking at in the Nasdaq. Same pattern, like I said, but that doesn't mean much today. It might, but I'm not sure. The market's gonna bounce. I think today, maybe now that you're seeing all this stuff. Have to really all right. Let's go over to my market profile chart. All right. Let's just look at some scenarios. I just nailed them, laid them out for you guys. Pretty simple. Okay. In the ES, obviously we come to 36.35, which is also the most traded price of the month, and we have week, and the most traded price of the month is 36.50. So it's much tougher sledding if we come up here. There's a heavy resistance, but one or two things happen. We come up, we break, or we come up and we go back into range. Same thing with the short side. Come down to 35.98. Okay, and I think that there's longs here. Okay, so I think we could come down, pop, break it, hit yesterday's lows, maybe pop under it a little bit, and we go back. And again, we could just break it. I don't know what's in the cards today. It's pointing more to balance, right? So be prepared to fade the edges. Okay. Let's look at the Nasdaq. Same thing, the levels I just talked to you guys about. I just noticed something that I don't have one of the levels here. Hold on a second. Okay, so in the Nasdaq, same thing. Okay, come up here, 109.96. We could break out. Remember, we have the most traded price of the week here, and either we go higher or we come back into range. I think we can also come down here, pop, break, come down to yesterday's lows, and pop back. Okay, and then obviously if we come down and we break the lows and we break this 737, we can go lower. Highly or unlikely now to see that the market's not doing much. We could also come straight up here, same thing, and take off. I don't see that though in the cards. So breakouts, I think are less likely, and I think balance is more likely. those are scenarios. One thing I wanted to leave with here is one interesting chart that I have, and just an interesting chart that I was looking at. And that is not what I wanted to show. Hold on a second. I want to make this a little smaller. All right, so this chart is a 5-year break inflation rate chart, and this is from the Fed. I believe it's the St. Louis Fed, and this means that this is what the Fed projects the inflation will be in 5 years. I put a trend line here that it's trending down. Okay, but check this out. We just went down and it popped back up. So this was a low on September 30th. We made a higher low on October 5th and on October 12th today. So we've kind of popped up. I don't know if this is forecasting what tomorrow's CPI will be, but it's very interesting. Do we pop up to this trend line? That would definitely be not good. So just an interesting chart I wanted to show you guys. 5-year break-even inflation rate from the St. Louis Fed. So it's from the Fed. This is what the Fed. Now some people could say that's corrupted or whatever, but you can see we peaked out. Let's see if I can show you guys here. Kind of peaked out here. It was at I think that's March 25th. It was at 3.59. You see, we've been trending down. We've been trending down this whole time, which is good. But this pop up, I don't know. Does this forecast what tomorrow's numbers will be? I'm not sure. Just wanted to show you guys that chart. And lastly, we'll just look at where we're at. ES up 0.16, Russell up 0.112, TNX up 0.10, and Q up 0.3. So we're most likely going to bounce today, but anything can happen. And we have FOMC minutes. Remember that at 2 p.m. So that's it for me. A little bit of an uneventful news release. So I wish everybody good luck. Stay green today. Please subscribe. Give me a like. Ask me a question, a comment. Follow me on Twitter. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.